Welcome to the deep dive. We explore information to pull out those key insights just for you.
That's right.
Today, we're looking at something really interesting. It's the potential combo of bergamot polyphenolic fraction gold, let's call it BPFG, and L-citrulline for athletes.
And we're drawing from the academic article. Antioxidant power of BPFG
Hmm.
potentiates the effects of L-citrulline in athlete performance and vasodilation. We'll unpack what they found.
Exactly. So if you're active, if you follow sports nutrition, or you're just curious about boosting performance, well, this is for you.
Mm-hmm.
Our mission today, really get to grips with this study, what it means for athletes trying to get that, edge. Okay, let's get into it.
Okay. First off, it's worth noting just how massive the sports nutrition world is, like over $45 billion globally in 2023, and it's growing
Yeah.
fast.
Wow. Yeah, you definitely see it. And L-citrulline is a big part of that growth, right?
Huge. The article mentions it's in, what, 71% of pre-workouts?
71%.
Yeah, because it's believed to really help with blood flow and, exercise performance.
But here's a key thing from the study. Just taking L-citrulline might not be the whole story. It seems like the dose, the timing, and crucially, what else you take it with, that all matters.
That makes total sense. And for performance, good blood flow is just fundamental, isn't it? Getting stuff to the muscles.
Absolutely essential. Your muscles need oxygen, they need energy, and vasodilation, just widening the blood vessels, that's how it gets delivered efficiently.
Okay, and this is where nitric oxide, NO, comes in. We hear that term a lot.
Exactly. N-O is a really potent vasodilator. It tells blood vessels to relax, to open up.
Uh-huh.
And L-citrulline helps your body make more NO. It's part of the citrulline-NO cycle. L-citrulline gets converted to L-arginine, and L-arginine is the fuel for NO production. It's like a chain reaction.
Okay, a multi-step process. And the article mentioned an advantage L-citrulline has over, say, just taking L-arginine.
Yes, that's important. L-citrulline seems to bypass some of the breakdown in the gut and liver that L-arginine experiences. So more of it gets into your bloodstream, potentially leading to higher L-arginine levels for longer, which could mean better endurance.
That's the theory, yeah. Better sustained NO production.
Interesting. Now, the study also points out that L-citrulline has shown benefits in older adults for blood vessel function.
That's correct. But there was kind of a gap when it came to healthy, trained athletes. It wasn't as clear how much L-citrulline impacted their NO levels.
Why might that be?
Well, one possible reason is that NO gets broken down really quickly in the body. Oxidative stress chews it up pretty fast. It doesn't hang around long.
Ah, okay. Fleeting. And this is where antioxidants might play a role. We hear about them for performance, too.
Precisely. The thinking is that antioxidants could protect the NO from being destroyed so quickly, making it more available, more effective.
Which brings us neatly to the other compound, BPFG, bergamot polyphenolic fraction gold. Sounds fancy. Is it just bergamot?
It's more than just the fruit juice, it's special extract. They process bergamot juice to concentrate the polyphenols, those beneficial plant compounds.
So like the good stuff concentrated.
Exactly. And previous studies suggested these citrus polyphenols, particularly from this BPFG extract, could improve oxygen uptake and vasodilation in athletes.
And how does BPFG potentially help with NO?
The polyphenols in BPFG are thought to work in a few ways. They fight oxidative stress, which we just said breaks down NO. They can reduce inflammation, and they might directly improve NO's stability and availability. It's bioavailability.
Okay, I see it now. So you've got L-citrulline potentially making more NO,
Right.
and BPFG potentially protecting that NO from being destroyed.
That's the hypothesis they wanted to test. Could this combination give a bigger boost to athletes than either one alone? Better performance, better blood flow, specifically that endothelium-dependent vasodilation.
Makes sense, like a 1-2 punch. So how did they actually test this? What did the study look like?
It was a well-designed trial, randomized, double-blind, placebo-controlled, pilot study, though, meaning initial research, smaller scale. They had 90 male-trained cyclists, randomly assigned to groups, and neither the cyclists nor the researchers knew who was getting what, the BPFG, the L-citrulline, the combo, or a placebo.
Right, prevents bias. 90 cyclists seems decent for a pilot. How many groups were there?
9 groups altogether.
9.
Yeah, one got placebo, just dummy powder. Then 2 groups got BPFG, different doses, 500 milligrams or 1,000 milligrams. 2 groups got L-citrulline, 1,000 milligrams or 2,000 milligrams.
Okay, testing dose effects too.
And then 4 groups got different combinations of BPFG and L-citrulline. They called this combo N.O.Max. That was to see if putting them together really made a difference.
Got it. Individual effects, dose effects, and the combination effect. How long did they take these supplements?
every day for 3 months.
And what were they measuring to see if anything changed?
They took measurements at the start and after the 3 months, both at rest and after an exercise test. They looked at blood markers, blood vessel function, and actual exercise performance.
What kind of blood markers?
Key things like nitric oxide levels, the nitrotennitrate ratio, which relates to NO and also MDA.
MDA.
Malondialdehyde. This is a marker of oxidative stress. How much cellular damage is happening?
Okay. And blood vessel function?
They used a technique called endopat. It measures how well your small blood vessels respond and gives a score called the RHI Reactive Hyperemia Index. Higher score generally means better vasodilation, healthier vessels.
And performance, the bit athletes really care about.
Yep, standard treadmill tests, measuring maximal oxygen consumption, VO2 max, and other things like ventilatory thresholds, power output, heart rate, the works.
A comprehensive picture. Did they say anything about the BPFG itself, like how it was made? Was it safe?
Yes, they detail the extraction process from bergamot juice using special resins to isolate those polyphenols, like naringin and neohesperidine. And importantly, they tested it thoroughly for safety, heavy metals, pesticides, etc. Found nothing of concern. It seemed clean.
Good. And the placebo is just sugar water.
Maltodextrin, basically, mixed in water, just like the active supplements. And they followed European guidelines for supplement studies.
They also controlled the diet, didn't they?
They did. For 3 weeks before and all through the study, the cyclist ate a specific controlled diet with set amounts of carbs, protein, and fat, just to minimize diet as a variable influencing the results.
Smart. And they excluded certain people.
Yeah, standard exclusions. No smokers, no one with existing heart issues or recent inflammation, no one taking interfering meds or supplements. They also had rules about avoiding caffeine, intense exercise, alcohol before testing days.
Right, trying to get a clean measurement. Can you quickly explain that endopat test again, the RHI score?
Sure. In simple terms, they put a cuff on your arm, inflate it briefly to stop blood flow, then release it. The machine measures how quickly and strongly blood flow returns in your fingertip. The RHI score reflects that response. Better response, higher RHI, healthier endothelial function.
Gotcha. And the blood tests for NO and MDA, standard lab stuff.
Pretty standard, yeah. Grease reaction for NO metabolites and a specific kit for MDA. Both rely on color changes measured in the lab.
Okay. They looked at BMI too, and then the big treadmill test.
Yep, BMI for basic body comp.
Mm-hmm.
The treadmill test was progressive, got harder and harder until exhaustion. They measured breathing gases, oxygen in, CO2 out heart rates, blood pressure, the lot, really mapping their physiological response to exercise.
Sounds thorough. And how do they analyze all this data?
Standard statistical tests, ANOVI, Tuckey's, Kruskal-Wallis, to see if the differences between groups or changes over time were actually significant, not just random chance. Usual cutoff was p less than 0.05.
Uh-huh.
They did note, being a pilot study, the smaller sample size means the statistical power might be limited for finding very small effects.
Mm-hmm.
But still, they found some interesting things.
Okay. Let's get to that. The results. What did they find? What about NO and blood vessel function?
This is where it starts getting really interesting. BKFG on its own, both 500 milligrams and 1,000 milligram doses, significantly increased total NO levels and improved that nitrotennitrate ratio compared to placebo.
Wow, on its own.
Yeah. And this lined up with better RHI scores, better vasodilation, both at rest and after exercise.
Okay. What about L-citrulline by itself?
L-citrulline alone also showed significant increases in NO and RHI pre and post-exercise at both doses. So individually, both ingredients seem to be doing something positive for NO and blood flow.
Right, but the million-dollar question, the combination in the N.O.Max.
This is the headline finding, really. When they combined BPFG and L-citrulline, they saw a highly significant jump in NO release. And the improvement in RHI, the vasodilation index, was much more pronounced than with either supplement alone.
Highly significant.
Yeah, like p less than 0.0001 compared to placebo, both before and after exercise. The combo really seemed to amplify the effect, big-time synergy.
Wow, okay. That's a strong signal. Now, did this translate to actual performance on the treadmill?
This is maybe the most crucial part for athletes. L-citrulline by itself didn't really show much advantage in the performance tests in this study.
Oh, interesting.
But when they combined BPFG with L-citrulline, that's when they saw highly significant improvements across several key performance metrics.
Like what specifically? What got better?
Okay, so VO2 max went up significantly. That's your aerobic capacity.
Right.
Those ventilatory thresholds, VT1 and VT2, also improved significantly. That suggests they could sustain effort longer, handle lactate better.
Good.
Peak power output was higher, they could push harder, And interestingly, their heart rate was significantly lower during exercise compared to the other groups.
Lower heart rate for the same effort. That suggests better efficiency.
Exactly. Their bodies seemed to be working less hard to achieve the same output or achieving higher output with less strain. And this was compared to placebo, BPSG alone, and L-citrulline alone. The combo is clearly superior for performance.
Did they give any numbers, like for the top dose combination?
Yeah, Table 3 in the paper has specifics. For Group 9, the highest compo dose compared to placebo after 3 notes.
Mm-hmm.
Average VO2 max went from about 68 up to 96 milligauss Siemens. That's a huge jump.
96. Wow.
Peak power went from around 425 watts to 492 watts. And max heart rate actually dropped from 160 to 144 beats per minute at peak exertion. These are really meaningful changes for trained cyclists.
Definitely numbers that grab your attention. So, better blood flow translated directly into better performance. What about oxidative stress? Did the combo help there?
It did. First, they confirmed exercise increased MDA levels, that oxidative stress marker.
Expected.
BPFG alone significantly reduced MDA. L-citrulline alone had only a minor effect. But the combination, again, a highly significant dose-dependent reduction in MDA, both at rest and after exercise.
So the BPFG's antioxidant action seems really key in the combo.
That's what it strongly suggests. It's mitigating that exercise-induced stress.
Okay, so let's recap the key findings. Combining BPFG and L-citrulline led to significantly better NO levels, better blood flow, real improvements in exercise performance metrics, and reduced oxidative stress. Much more than either ingredient alone.
That's the core takeaway. The synergy seems real, at least in this group of cyclists, over 3 months. The discussion section digs into the why.
Right.
They even mention changes in ADMA levels, asymmetric dimethylarginine, supporting the idea of increased NO production in the combo group. ADMA can inhibit NO synthesis, so changes there suggest the body was actively making more NO.
And they reinforced why the performance improvements matter.
Yes, better VO2 max, VT1, VT2. These are solid indicators of improved aerobic fitness, better endurance, higher thresholds before fatigue really kicks in.
And the mechanism seems to hinge on BPFG protecting the NO that L-citrulline helps produce.
That appears to be the central theory. BPFG's antioxidant power shields the NO from oxidative damage, allowing it to do its job better and longer. They even speculate BPFG might reduce cardiovascular strain by influencing NO in muscles and skin, helping with blood flow regulation.
Did they mention other ways BPFG might work?
Briefly, things like enhanced fat burning or directly stimulating NO production. But the big reduction in MDA alongside the performance gains really points towards that antioxidant NO protecting role as being crucial when combined with L-citrulline.
And this fits with other research showing antioxidants can help performance.
It does align with that. And importantly, it contrasts with findings where NO boosters alone sometimes don't improve performance much, possibly because they don't address the oxidative stress that exercise itself creates.
Right. Exercise makes free radicals, which can mess with the NO you're trying to boost.
Exactly. Free radicals plus NO can sometimes be a bad combo if unchecked. The researchers suggest BPFG helps restore a healthier balance, letting the NO work properly by tackling that oxidative stress.
So the polyphenols in BPFG are the heroes here, protecting the NO system.
Seems likely. Polyphenols are known to support endothelial NO production and improve blood flow generally. BPFG is packed with them. The idea is BPFG reduces harmful reactive oxygen species, ROS, and boosts detoxification, making NO more available.
Which suggests polyphenol supplements could be generally useful for athletes.
That's the potential implication they raise, improving performance via better endothelial function and vasodilation.
Of course, we need to remember the limitations. It was a pilot study.
Absolutely. The authors are clear about that. Small sample size, relatively short duration, just 3 months. We don't know about long-term effects or safety yet.
So more research needed.
Definitely. This study lays a really interesting foundation for bigger, longer trials on this N.O.Max combination. We need to confirm these findings, figure out optimal doses, look at different types of athletes, perhaps.
Okay, so for you listening, what's the main message to take away from this deep dive?
I think the core point is that this specific combination, bergamot, polyphenolic fraction gold, and L-citrulline, shows real promise. It seems to work synergistically to boost nitric oxide, improve blood flow, fight oxidative stress, and significantly enhance athletic performance, at least in these cyclists.
But remember, it's early days. Promising, yes, but needs more research to confirm it on a larger scale.
Exactly. It's an exciting potential strategy, but not yet a definitive answer for everyone.
Right. So here's something to think about. As we learn more about how specific natural compounds interact within our bodies during exercise, how might this change personalized sports nutrition? What other combinations out there might unlock similar synergies? It really opens up a lot of questions for future exploration. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.